celebrations begin around the country to mark independence. Madang MPs sworn into office. And Oil Search World Cup trophy tours Goroka show.
This is National MTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me with Friday's news. Barike Band was a popular music band that originated from Rabaul, East New Britain province in the 1980s. After almost 30 years, the band could still be easily remembered by many for their popular hit song. One of them is One Country. Kanai Pineri, the band's former frontman and the man who sang the song, tells the story behind the song and how it relates to Papua New Guinea's independence.
In 1992, when Rabaul's homegrown band Barike recorded and released the song One Country, it became a national favorite. The song, written by the band's late bass guitarist Glenn Lowe and co-written by guitarist Donald Lassie and sung by Kanai Pineri, hasn't grown old. The lead vocalist of the song, Kanai Pineri, called it a masterpiece that will live through many generations of Papua New Guineans.
Lumiat me looking at the song and me one kind song where you know got also me looking at one kind unique song lo country lo you me lo Papua New Guinea because time me losing music na missed up but still song I'm strong na coming up now na country o kata young man generation ni wolo come up only wolo savelo the same song na time independence is come close to the song is a reminding all man of independence come through los song One Country song.
After 25 years since its released, the song still hasn't lost its taste in almost every PNG households.
I took thank you long Alberta was like Donald Matalao, Fabian, Kaburita, Pati Potstoy, when me blau got I been putting up this song like come up big plus song lo country. You know been come up lo ting ting long One Manta solo, Semita solo, Barta Glenta solo, Donalda solo, and me play me play putting met one them, and me play come up in this song, make them a big song.
Within the PNG music culture, One Country is one of many PNG's legendary songs that pointed the way forward for the styles of music that talks about life, politics, culture and the Bougainville Civil War. The band started recording in 1982 in Rabaul Town with Greg Sito at East Sound Stream Studios, which later became the Pacific Gold Studios until 1994 when the twin volcanic eruptions destroyed the studio. But that didn't stop Barike from reuniting in the years that followed the volcanic eruptions. The song One Country has remained a hit single from the band's total of 6 recorded albums. Even now, long after the band has remained partly disassembled, there are still thrills shown by Papua New Guineans that claimed One Country as a song that reminds men, women and children about PNG's independence. Edwin Fidelis, National MTV News, Kokopo.
Private education institution Cockup College held its independence celebrations today. Guest speaker Father Victor Roche urged students to uphold their cultures and also have respect for other cultures. Jack Lapalva Jr. with this story.
A day before the country celebrates its 42nd independence, Cockup College in Port Moresby held its Cultural Day. Staff, students, sponsors and other stakeholders packed the institution to be part of the celebrations. Speaking at the occasion, guest speaker Father Victor Roach embraced the different PNG cultures and urged students to have respect for every ethnic group in the 22 provinces.
You know, we may have different branches, different dresses, different way of cooking, but no culture is superior to the others. We should think of respect for each other's culture.
With all students representing the country attending the institution, Father Victor encouraged good discipline values.
How you have the discipline So it is very good that you learn knowledge and also have to be good students and good people and good citizens.
Among the dancing and singing, students also did parades including sharing of cultures from India and Africa. Various traditional dances were showcased with students from preschool to year 12 taking part. Junior National MTV News.
Marah Governor Ginton Saunu says Papua New Guineans and people in power have to evaluate the real meaning of political independence. Saunu said if people still wait for handouts and if our basic services are crumbling, then we will have a long way to go. The governor said this as Leigh prepares for celebrations tomorrow.
Leigh City was in a celebratory mood today as the country prepared for independence celebrations tomorrow. But the preparations hide the difficulties faced within the provincial economy. Businesses here in Leigh have been feeling the pinch of economic hardship. Some have had to lay off workers. Many are having difficulty importing raw materials and goods. This afternoon, the Marah governor said Papua New Guineans have to evaluate where we stand as a nation.
Man yet must feeling comfortable when development. Suppose all comfortable, comfort long development, then meaning long independence, you may not explaining good to us.
Over the past 5 years, budget allocations for the Marah province have been reduced gradually. Health and education services in rural areas especially have suffered. Saunu says if political independence comes with a kind of development that people aren't comfortable with, our methods have to be fixed.
We make him over and over for 41 years. Practically, long independence long looking service, yet.
For now, the people of Marah will celebrate independence tomorrow at the St. Ignatius Kilage Stadium. Scott Wide, National MTV News, Leigh.
Leigh Police will be carrying out special operations this Independence weekend to ensure celebrations are kept peaceful. Leigh Metropolitan Commander Anthony Wagambi said police will be present at the Sir Ignatius Kilage Stadium tomorrow, where the city's main celebrations will be held. Mr. Wagambi said liquor ban will not be imposed this weekend and is urging residents to celebrate responsibly. Any person found drunk and disorderly in public will be arrested and detained. Roadblocks will also be set up at various locations in the city. National MTV News will be back with more after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Staff at MTV joined in the Independence Day celebrations. Many turned up at work in their red, black and gold attire and even traditional wear. Godineki reports.
September 16 is when PNG first celebrated its democracy, giving every person in PNG freedom of speech. Papua New Guineans around the country celebrated 42 years of independence, and like other business houses, staff at MTV came dressed for the occasion.
Hey, she's from Philippines, but she's carrying a Highland flag. I represent PNG.
As part of the celebrations, MTV also offered a 43-inch flat screen as a prize to the best-dressed person. From the 11 participants who were up for the challenge, only 4 made it to the final. Judges, however, could not decide on the winner, so all 4 names were put in a box for a draw.
The winner is Jacinta.
Jacinta Dengri, MTV's Liberian, took out the grand prize, a 43-inch TV who dressed up in her traditional Sipi costume of shells, headdress and face painting.
We when we dance, like typical. And
All dressed for the occasion, the contestants all had something to say about their traditional costume and what independence meant to each one of them.
Okay, what I'm wearing is this parrot feathers. Is very popular around the country. All provinces. This is very significant to everyone. The what you call parrot feathers.
Independence Day means a lot to me because apart from it being my mother born on that year, it means we got our freedom from Australia, and it's a day it was probably the only time we can be proud to be patriotic and stuff like that, yeah.
Despite the fact that I'm from East Sepik and Milne Bay, I am wearing my red, black and gold because it's 42 years, and despite whatever criticisms we get, I will wear my red, black and gold any day because I'm a proud Papua New Guinean.
The celebrations ended with light refreshments and a photo shoot. As today is the last working day of the week, MTV staff, like everyone else, will be celebrating independence either at home or joining fun activities such as visiting stalls at the Paga Ring Road, canoe racing, face painting and the Unity March at the Seyu Betmari Stadium with NCD Governor Powis Pakop. Also tomorrow will be the flag racing ceremony at Independence Hill. Godwin Eki, National MTV News.
The discharge of the offshore jack-up drill COSL Sika was successfully conducted near the Manubada Island in Port Moresby today. The oil rig was towed off the heavy-lift Chinese vessel Zhang Ruko after it was blasted down. This marks the start of Twinza Oil's engagement in the extraction and development of gas in the Gulf of Papua.
The jack-up drill was conducted between 6 and 10 this morning, just few kilometers out at sea. This footage shows the oil rig, which was still on the heavy lift vessel while it was being ballasted down, while 3 tugboats were docked in position to pull the oil rig off the vessel.
To remove the rig from the heavy lift vessel, we require less than 20 knots of wind, and the sea state had to be relatively calm. So that means if you look around, you shouldn't see any white crest on the waves.
This picture shows the heavy lift vessel disappearing below the water, allowing the tugboats to tow the oil rig off the vessel. Eric Koa, the project development manager, was pleased to see that the discharge was successful.
To go and drill the final appraisal well. So what you see here, the COSL Sika, is the drilling rig to go ahead with the program. So it should take us up to 60 days by the time it gets to location. So she just got discharged from the heavy lift vessel that brought her in from the South China Sea over in Malaysia.
For PNG, this is the second time for such an interesting drill to occur, as the last one was in 1997. But before the rig was brought in, there were few marine and environmental tests conducted, both at the discharge location and on site, to ensure the project is conducted within PNG laws.
And we've done quite a bit of work to affirm the resource there, and this is the final step to progress on to development.
Following the discharge, the rig will be towed to Pasca A in the next 48 hours, the drilling site where it will be jacked down. This project is expected to provide the first offshore oil and gas development infrastructure in Papua New Guinea.
So we're glad that now it's all over, so we just wait for successful wet tow over to the Gulf. And we should get going with the program in after 48 hours from now.
The gas extracted from this exploration will be made into cooking gas and can be sold for household use in PNG. The first shipment is expected to be made in 2020. Tekla Gunga, National MTV News.
The 6 Madang MPs and the Governor Peter Yama have all made a commitment to work together to bring services to the people in the next 5 years. The MPs made their intentions known during the recent swearing-in ceremony.
It was as early as 12 p.m. on Tuesday when members of the public and the business community turned up at the Madang Provincial Assembly chamber. They were there to witness the swearing-in of the 6 members of parliament for Madang. The acting clerk of assembly escorted the deputy administrator, Peter Torot, who facilitated the ceremony. 5 MPs present were member for Madang, Raikos, Usinobundi, Middle Ramu and Sumkar. Bogia District MP was not able to attend the occasion. The 5 MPs were sworn in front of the governor and chairman of the Provincial Assembly. The MPs were then given 10 minutes to make a few remarks.
We need to catch up with other districts, other provinces. The district was
Madang MP Brian Kramer in his speech told those present at the chamber it is important that for Madang they work together. He says this is because for this term DSIP grants have been reduced to 1 million kina from 10 million.
The country is facing serious issues. In the media you can see that key agencies are being locked out of their offices for non-payment of bills. DSIP that was previously 10 million now has been reduced to 1 million. So we as a country are going to be facing extremely difficult times. And so it's important that for Madang province, or even as the respective districts in the last 5 years, we're all new members. Previous members enjoyed 50 million kina over the 5-year term. We don't have new members this year. We will only be allocated 1 million.
Meanwhile, Madang Governor Peter Yama has also shared similar sentiments with the Madang MP. Yama reinforced Kramer's remarks, saying the country is facing serious financial problems and he will work with his 6 MPs in the districts to develop the province. Martha Luis, National MTV News, Madang.
Marah's Provincial Education Board is being challenged by the Governor Ginson Saunu to create smarter education programs for schools in the province. The new board was sworn in today, witnessed by the Governor. The new board has been the task to deal with disruptions in various schools in the province.
Interesting fitting to this occasion.
14 members of Marah's Provincial Education Board were sworn in today. With representatives from various sectors, members vowed to serve the province through this board.
I will well and truly serve.
Marah Governor Ginson Saunu challenged the members as the highest decision-making education body in the province to create better education programs.
I'm prepared to spend money for you to travel and come up with a smart education system for the province.
The governor is committed to assist the education division as a key area of development.
I would like to make change in the next 5 years in Marah province, starting with education.
The new PEB is faced with the task of dealing with issues of school disruptions. PPA for Education, Mr. Keith Jiram, said the situations have been contained.
We've contained it, and as soon as we have the new board in place, we should be able to call the PEB disciplinary committee to have the meeting and start taking on board those outstanding issues.
Lucy Kopana, National MTV News, Leigh.
A group of young people from the Marah Lutheran Church are having difficulty with their travel plans to Germany this year due to the closure of the French embassy in Port Moresby. The French embassy catered for German visas previously. The main objective of the trip is for young people to share ideas on global justice, the use of resources, fair trade and gender equality.
The trip set for this year will not be possible due to the cost involved in arranging visas. The chairman for the Lutheran Church Partnership Committee, Paul Isan, said applicants have to travel to Singapore to sort out their visas. In 2011, when the program started, each applicant only paid 30 kina to process the visa. But today, the cost has increased to $60, which is 190 kina.
In 2014, we sent our second lot of youngsters to go to Germany. And in 2015, their second lot of youngsters came.
The Lutheran Church Partnership Program started in 2011 to improve the exchange of cultural ideas with young people in PNG and other international countries. The Church Partnership Committee has established a coffee project to help sustain such programs.
I would call upon the government to support the youth to have, exposure and to get an experience that would change their life for the better.
According to the chairman, due to the closure of the French embassy in Port Moresby, the trip to Germany is cancelled this year. The church has finalized a resolution to the PNG and German government to help set up a German embassy in the country. Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Leigh.
Carters Technical Secondary School has extended its establishment in West New Britain Province. Headmistress Cecilia Bula says the institution has enrolled over 100 students with classes already commencing. The institution was recently visited by a team from the Education Department.
The Carters Kimbe campus is the second apart from its establishment in NCD. The girls' school was visited by a team from the Education Department to see the developments taking place at the campus. Speaking to MTV News, Headmistress Cecilia Bula says the institution is slowly growing with major learning infrastructure a priority. She says enrollment will increase in the next 3 years.
When we begin with student registration, we have around 112. At the moment, we have only 100 students left. Okay, and the number of students have decreased because of one, school fee, two, disciplinary problems. We are very strict.
The Carters Kimbe campus is situated in the heart of Kimbe town. Currently, learning facilities are being built with more to be established as funding remains a challenge. According to the head of the institution, donor funding remains a major support to the school.
At the moment, we did not receive any money yet, but we are working on whatever little that we have, mostly from donors. So this building alone has already cost us around 2 million kina.
The school is giving a second chance to many females who have missed out in the formal education sector. This will see the enrollment of pre-11 classes.
So pre-11 is like an upgrade of grade 10. So the school leavers, grade 10 school leavers, they come and they do pre-11. And next year, after we see the result progress, then they will go into doing grade 11. So next year we're going to have the first class of grade 10s and grade 11, and then we're going to increase our enrollment next year.
The school currently has 6 teaching staff with 100 students. Jack Lapava Jr., National MTV News.
Now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3125 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.305, $0.3772 Australian dollars, $0.2523 euro and 33.18 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold closed higher, coffee, cocoa and copra closed the day lower. Copper closed higher, palm oil and crude oil closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 45.3 points higher, the ASX closed at 43.68 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 42.9 points lower. We'll have more news after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas, Japanese television is running urgent warning, reporting another missile launched from North Korea. Japanese public broadcaster MHK is reporting the missile has passed over Japanese airspace, with the residents being urged to take shelter. The government warning, known as the J Alert, says a missile has passed over North Japan and landed about 2,000 kilometers off the coast in the Pacific Ocean.
Very provocative. According to NHK, the Japanese broadcaster, this missile passed over the northern part of the country at 7:06 a.m. No word on what type of missile this may have been. The North Koreans did fire 2 ICBM missiles back in August, and there has been a flurry of activity from that country in the past month. A ballistic missile fired on August 29th, then that big H-bomb test on September 3rd, sanctions passed by the UN Security Council, and then on the 14th, today, another irregular launch. As we say, we don't know what kind of missile it was. We're only hearing this from NHK. No word from the Pentagon as to what missile may have been fired over Japan.
A public inquiry has opened into the destructive and deadly Grenfell town fire in London, which claimed the lives of at least 80 people. The inquiry will examine the cause of the fire and how it spread, and whether the block of flats complied with building regulations. But it's already receiving criticism from victims' families.
The tower is still charred, the grief still raw. Victims are unidentified and questions still unanswered. For so long, those who lived in Grenfell warned it wasn't safe and no one listened. Now they want to hear from the inquiry just who was responsible.
She's still in a hotel.
Ahmed Chelat is on a journey to the opening of the inquiry, but he hopes eventually to justice.
But we would like him to find out the cause of fire.
He lost his brother-in-law, sister-in-law, 2 nephews and a niece in the fire. 8-year-old Mehdi, just identified yesterday. They are still waiting to find the remains of 15-year-old Noor Huda.
What do you want the inquiry, in the end, to be able to do for your family? Well, we're not going to have them back, that's for sure. But prevent it from happening again.
Justice for Grenfell will take some considerable time, and inside the ornate room a few miles from the fire, the chairman, Sir Martin Moore-Bick, opened the inquiry with silence for the victims.
The inquiry cannot undo any of that, but it can and will provide answers to the pressing questions of how a disaster of this kind could occur in 21st century London, and thereby, I hope, provide a small measure of solace.
As he finished, a barrister advising some of the survivors stood and tried to ask a question. The judge didn't stop. The broadcast inside, controlled by the inquiry, did. Shouts of frustration from those in the room. 6 members of Nabil Shukair's family died in the fire.
He just walked out. It was very disgusting and disappointing, you know.
You would have liked him to have listened to the victims' questions.
Of course, he owes it to us.
The inquiry promises answers, but there's so much those who lost relatives and homes at Grenfell still want and need to know.
Sydney's Opera House is a world-famous tourist destination, but it turns out there's more to what meets the eye. A new underground art exhibition is transforming a part of the Opera House that no one has seen before.
Through this windy tunnel that snakes underneath the Opera House and the Royal Botanic Gardens, you are taken to a place that up until now has remained a mystery. This hidden cave has been vacant for 23 years and is now an exciting place to showcase art from 13 contemporary artists.
There were pipes all over the ground, there was broken electrical cords, and it was so dark.
The space, owned by Wilson Parking, will feature the exhibition titled 9 Hours Underground. That's the average time a car spends in one of its car parks. Each piece of work inspired by the unique underground cave.
You've got these little figures there which are miners. These are people who work underground and they're sort of digging through the earth. Then you're bringing up the produce, the bounty from the earth, all of this fruit and vegetables.
It's inspiring that spaces like this are opened up for exhibition because so often we're contained in a white box.
Artesian 4 came up with the idea to transform secret and unexpected spaces into an exciting exhibition venue.
The idea is to put art in places that it wouldn't normally be seen.
When you walk through the door, you'll be standing directly under the Royal Botanic Gardens. This secret cave has been transformed for the opening night. The only way you'll be able to enter is if you have an exclusive barcode on your phone. One of the stars of the show is Charlie. The exhibition runs for 2 weeks.
Chukai Sports is next. Details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Sports. The Rugby League World Cup trophy arrived in Goroka today and made a brief appearance at the Picanini show as well. Oil Search Managing Director Peter Botten and the CEO of the 2017 Rugby League World Cup, Andrew Hill, brought the trophy into the town. There was a lot of colour and fanfare as the trophy was taken around town in a motorcade. We'll bring you more pictures in our bulletin tomorrow. Work on athletics accommodation facilities for the 7th PNG Games in West New Britain is progressing. Most will be housed in schools throughout the province. Officials say most are new buildings and will be used by the host schools after the Games.
With less than 2 months remaining before the 7th PNG Games, work on accommodation facilities are almost complete. Provincial teams will be housed in new classrooms built in most schools throughout the province. This 80-man boarding facility at Hoskins Girls Technical College is almost complete with few more adjustments in the interior.
We still need ablution block completed, the laundry, maybe a rotary clothes line, plus electrical reticulation.
Working along with local authorities, the organizing committee has identified gaps in most schools which new facilities are built.
Identify these capacity gaps in schools, particularly in the area of toilet, water supply, and classroom space. This classroom is at Buluma Primary School, and it's going to be used by Team Oro.
Sporting facilities have also been completed. Most are 80% complete despite a slowdown in construction in passes. Buluma Primary will host Team Oro, Banole Primary Team West Sipik and Hoskins Girls Team Millen Bay.
And they will use most of these classrooms. And this is a new classroom built by Pacific Development through the Office of the Governor.
The 7th PNG Games will begin on the 18th of November and end on 2nd December in Kimbe, West New Britain Province. Jack Lopava Jr. National MTV Sports.
Cockup Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Cockup Sports.
Welcome back to Cockup Sports. To AFL, the PNG Under-14 Binatangs and Kurakums will travel to Gold Coast this Sunday for the Queensland Academy Development Carnival at Sunshine Coast. The annual event is held on Term 3 school holidays, which brings together some of the best footy players.
The aim of the carnival is to maintain respect, fair play and correct attitude to teamwork, as there is no winner announced at the end of the competition. But instead, the program is provided to bring talented players together in football to know and learn from each other. As important it is for the players, the event brings out emerging talents, placing the players on the talent pathway, producing outstanding players who have set foot on international arenas such as Hewago Ase Oya, Hapeyo Bobogi and Kelly Kaugla. The interest has gone to another level of producing more upcoming greats for PNG. AFL PNG Development Pathways will send both boys and girls to attend the event in Sunshine Coast. Players have been training for the event since late last year to make the final squad, who have come from all regions in the country. After the Under-14s event, Under-17s will follow through with their championships in Brisbane in October. The event will follow the competition structure for points collection and eventual winners. This event is also a pathway for PNG youth girls to be exposed to the best teams in Australia through a player pathway. Godwin Eki, National MTV Sports.
And that ends Cockup Sports. The weather details when we come back.
Cockup Sports. Cockup Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region: becoming cloudy with a chance of light rain drizzle in Port Moresby, cloudy and windy in Daru, cloudy with a few light rain showers in Kerma, cloudy periods in Alotau, and becoming cloudy with few rain showers in Popondita. In the Mamasa region, becoming cloudy with a chance of few rain showers in Leigh. Mostly fine, apart from a shower or two in Madang. Cloudy at times with a shower or two in Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, few rain showers in Lorengau and Kavieng. Mostly fine, although cloudy at times in Kokopo and Rabaul. Mostly fine in Kimbe and becoming cloudy with some rain showers in Buka. And in the Highlands region, a shower or two, then early morning fog in all centres.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
Before we go, a quick look at our top stories. Celebrations begin around the country to mark independence. Madang MPs sworn into office and Oil Search World Cup trophy tours Goroka. And that's the news, sports and weather this Friday, the 15th of September 2017. Pleasant viewing and enjoy the independence celebrations tomorrow.